Cherry Blossom family, what's going on? This is Derek. We're Cherry Blossom Hemp, and we're back. And you asked, we're answering, so we're answering some questions. And we're going to talk a little about the deltas today. We're not totally like in the delta business. Like we do sell some delta 8, delta 9 stuff, but mostly that's not really the breadbasket of what we do, if you will. We sell mostly live resin hemp extracts. Most of our products do not or not designed to get people in any sort of intoxicated or psychoactive effects. But because these newer, more alternative, I call them alternative cannabinoids, have been hitting the scene over the last couple of years, let's talk about them a little bit. So since 2018, since the 2018 Farm Bill, we've seen a lot of these new, what we call alternative cannabinoids. Sorry, I got my notes here. So let's talk. We're going to start with today. Just for today, we're going to talk about Delta 8. We're going to talk about Delta 9, and we're going to talk about Delta 10. That's probably the three most popular that have come on the scene in the last couple of years. So let's start with Delta 9. And Delta 9 we know as tetrahydrocannabinol. So, people call it hydro and it all that comes from there, but whatever. We're not going down that path. So it's a naturally occurring cannabinoid, which means that it actually comes from a plant, a natural growing plant. It's known for its psychoactive properties. It's known to be like a natural, kind of relaxing, sedating, sort of therapeutic sort of thing. It has been illegal for much of the last 100 years. It has. And so not a lot of research has been done on it, but there are plenty of products out there and people kind of use Delta 9 for various things, maybe, kind of relieving stress, enhance mood, and they use Delta 8 for a lot of those same things. And what is Delta 8? Delta 8 is an isomer of Delta 9. That means that it has the same chemical makeup, like the same chemical components are present. They're just kind of manipulated in a different configuration. And it's something about how it hits the 8th carbon, the 9th carbon, the 10th carbon. I'm not really sure about that, and I'm not that scientific and cannot explain that to you in very much detail. But what I do know is that people who have used both say that Delta 8 is less intense, it's less psychoactive, it's way more manageable for people who don't like the intense feelings of THC. That's my bear right there. Hold on, let me close my door real quick. All right. So what we also have is Delta 10, and Delta 10 is also an isomer of THC. Delta 8 is naturally occurring. I want to back up and say that, but just in lower amounts. Delta 10 is an isomer. Not sure where its origins are. Some people say that they are natural, but a lot of these extracts like Delta 8 and Delta 10 are manipulated in a lab made from CBD isolate. They've taken the isolate, the CBD plant, kind of removed all the plant matter, kind of whittled that down to a powdered isolate, and then convert that isolate into an oil, a distillate. There's a couple processes you could do to get there. It's added some sort of acid, but that's kind of what happens. So, and the acid thing isn't as alarming as people think. A lot of these things have some sort of acid base to them. CBDA, CBGA, all acid bases of their precursors to their compounds. So, I know we talked about that a little bit last week. So Delta 10 is what they say. Delta 8 should be 50% or so less intense than Delta 9, what we all know as THC. That Delta 9 is what we all know as THC. The isomer Delta 8, they call it like THC light, and people who use it say it kind of hits them from the neck down, even though it does have some sort of energizing and kind of like sativa-like effects in the beginning. But usually people say they end up getting good night's sleep. It relaxes them in a strange way or in a different way than it does a THC. And I find that some people use it recreationally. It can be used recreationally, but most people do not. I think I got to say, okay, I can't lie and say that. A lot of people do, but there are a lot of people who do not. I won't say most, and I won't say most, but a lot of people do not. They really want to get better sleep, and a lot of people use it to help with pain and inflammation and that sort of thing. Delta 10 is kind of what's been known as, or what's been called the sativa of these alternative cannabinoids. It is, I'll say it's somehow more relaxing and sedating than Delta 8, but not as strong and intense. And I've never tried it. I can't really speak on that firsthand. Like I'm only going on what other people are saying. But kind of less feelings of, like you say, why would anybody take these? Sorry, but so and that's kind of where I was going with that last sentence. Kind of less of the feelings that people don't like or the side effects that people don't like about Delta 9. And that is sometimes like the dry mouth. Sometimes people get very upset stomachs. I have a friend who's going through this stuff really right now. Like she's almost allergic to THC, and it's changed. It's kind of done I don't know, something to her digestive tract, and it's not working out. She's throwing up. People have negative thoughts or like intense feelings of anxiety. You get tiredness, so sometimes it's hard to take THC during the day if you are not equipped for that. And just because one of these cannabinoids work for one person doesn't mean they're going to work for everybody else. We're all chemically different. All of our neurochemistry is different. So if you're open, you can try some of these. They're out there. They're usually available in definitely in vapable form. There's vape cartridges out there. You're finding edible forms all over the place, even the Delta 9s. But Delta 9s, you don't see them as much as vapes, not hemp derived anyway. You see them more in edible form. But we all seeing all these things in tincture form as well. I don't see, and sometimes topicals. I've seen Delta 8 in sprays. I've never seen Delta 10 in that. I think of all the Deltas, Delta 9 is hemp derived, is more coming on the scene now. They've more recently figured out how to convert Delta 8, or CBD isolate into Delta 9. But Delta 8 has really kind of taken over the market, and it's somewhat a disruptor. And we were hard on it at first because we didn't understand it, but I think now we do. And if you're gonna ask me, my preferred method to using Delta 8 is to take it in an edible form. The cannabinoids metabolize different when you take them orally. They process through the liver, and it kind of hits you with a little more intensity, which works for me because I use it to go to sleep. So usually I'll take it after dinner. Cannabinoids are fat soluble, so it makes it better like when you have some sort of meal or fat in your stomach. It kind of courses through your body a little bit better, and next thing you know, I'm getting a good night's sleep, and I'm waking up and feeling well rested with very little feelings of like any sort of hangover or delayed reaction. So that's it. Delta 8, Delta 9, and Delta 10. I hope that clears that up. We've been going a little bit longer than 3 minutes lately because we got some information that we want to share with people. And I just really, I'm really trying to give you as much positive and usable information as I possibly can, and not leave you with all these question marks. But if you do have question marks, feel free to reach out to us. We can be reached at www.cherryblossomhemp.com. You can put in a web submission, info@cherryblossomhemp.com, or you can hit us right here at one of the social media outlets. But as always, like, subscribe, share, and comment. We love your comments. And that's all for today. Thank you.